For a long time, I was unconsciously performing beauty, and I guess as a woman, it's kind of normal because from childhood we are taught what is beauty, what we should be, what we should do to be beautiful. Um, so for the first part of my life, of course, I was just performing beauty unconsciously. But I guess the most interesting part is that even when I became more conscious and then made a deliberate decision to go back to myself and, for example, to wear my hair more natural and these kind of things, because I really wanted to feel like myself, even in that moment, even though I was making the conscious decision to wear my hair natural, to try to be myself, to try to not hide myself, to try to not play a character just for the sake of other people, I still felt that I was more attractive when I was performing, which is very interesting because I was choosing, for example, to wear my hair natural, but in my head, I was feeling like I was not even feeling, I was knowing, it was like a knowing that I know I would be more attractive if I were to straighten my hair, but I will decide to still wear my hair natural for the love of me, for the respect of me, to hope that I can go back to myself and feel better and beautiful in the end. But I was still feeling that my most attractive self was the one who is performing, which is crazy when you think about it. So I don't know where you are right now on your own beauty journey, but I felt like it could be very interesting to dive with you on what happened every step of the way from not being even conscious to be performing beauty to then being conscious and deciding to switch that, and how you can go from feeling attractive only when you perform and then feeling attractive actually being yourself, because that's actually not an instant switch like positive thinking might push on you, and you should just love yourself, like that, from one day to another, and that's it. Wear your hair natural, that's it. Your hair are beautiful, come on, wear them. People were even telling me, like, I bet your natural hair are so beautiful, why don't you wear your hair natural? But it's a process, you cannot just switch a flip and then just feel beautiful as yourself, because you've never been that version, or you've never shown that version to other people, and it's very scary, and it's hard to program another image of beauty in your mind. So I really want to dive into that with you today, because I think the harder switch is not to start making a change, start wearing your hair natural, start putting maybe less makeup or whatever is your way of going back to yourself. But the hardest part is to actually recognize yourself as beautiful even when you do all of that. I'm curious to have your opinions. Please leave a comment and tell me about you. Let's start. So like I said, for a long time, I was just unconsciously performing beauty. So let's start from the beginning and let's see what triggered every layer of growth from that to the last point where I finally can recognize myself as beautiful, just being myself. And when I say performing, we all have an idea in our mind that performing is to put a lot of makeup or to wear some specific clothes or something like that. But for me, it never looked like that really. I have 3 brothers and a very boyish mom. I never learned how to make up or these kind of things. It was very unfamiliar for me. So my way of performing was not through what you might think, but this is also how you unconsciously perform and don't realize that you're performing, because it doesn't always look like what you think would look the fact of performing. So if you met me, you would never guess that I was performing, and I myself didn't even know that I was performing. And it was more of playing a character, not even for myself, because I love to play characters for myself, like to play with my identities. That's also how I manifest some things in my life. But I was playing this character for other people mostly, and to have this image of the cool, effortless girl. And we really don't realize that the natural, effortless, cool girl can be as, if not more, performative than a very glam, full glam makeup one. Because in the end, performing is not about what you do. Do you make up or not? Do you straighten your hair or not? It's more about why you do it and why you have the need to constantly manage your image and how you're perceived by others. It's when you're not really the same when you're alone at home and when you're outside with other people. And in order to manage the perception of your image by others, you need to play a character constantly. Not a character of the perfect woman or this and that, just a character of what you think will bring you more love, more respect, more acceptation, whatever you're looking for. And so by definition, if you're constantly playing a character, you cannot be yourself and you need to monitor constantly to keep yourself in character. So really, I want to be clear that you can wear red lipstick and not be performing just because you like the feeling of it on your face, on your aura. And even when you are alone at home, you can wear maybe red lipstick sometimes just for yourself. So this is not performing just because you put a little more makeup or because you like clothes or because this and that. Performing is really deeper than that. And for me, in that moment, I was pretending to not care because that's part of the cool girl image identity. But I was actually spending a lot of time, money, energy, straightening my hair, chemically changing the nature of my hair, doing a lot of shopping, trying to buy the right makeup to look effortless. And even I was unconscious of it, but that was just me performing. The woman I thought I should be to be noticed, seen, appreciated, loved, or whatever. Then I cannot pinpoint what happened exactly because so many things happened at the same time around my 23, 25 until 27. I started my business. I was first a wedding photographer and I started maybe having a little more confidence, discovering myself outside of just appearance or this kind of things. I took a very life-changing trip in Senegal. Um, I discovered meditation also, and all of that made me more conscious of myself in general, maybe more mature, also just getting older, and more aware, more conscious in general. And I started realizing, okay, I might be playing a bit of a character here, but you know what? That's fun. Actually, it was not really fun. It was more like something like safe inside of me. But I was understanding it in that moment like, okay, that's fun. I'm straightening my hair and that's just fun. I want to perform. What if I want to perform? What if I want to perform? And what if I want to manage my image just the way I want? Why not? And it gives me control and I feel more attractive like that. And I'm going to continue performing. And what would I do if not that? In that moment in my mind, it was not even an option to become myself. What does it even mean? I had no idea. So yeah, I'm performing because that's how life is and I'm enjoying myself and I'm good like that. I don't have any reason to change. And I had no image or model of a woman embodying in my daily life, friends, family, herself fully, and that I could look for and be like, oh, I want to be like her. No, I mean, everyone around me was performing. My mom was performing. So for me, it was just like, okay, I'm conscious that we are all performing, but that's just life. So from that point, to actually deciding to stop performing and to become more myself, there was years. And I was more conscious and I was into manifestation a lot after that. And I was peeling the layers, internally of the things that I need to heal or change, transform. And then I manifested love and I found my partner, now husband. And I remember the exact moment where my character fully broke and I could not control anything anymore. And it was so sudden and so violent in that moment for me that I cried for hours under the shower that day. So I was with my boyfriend for a few months at that moment. It was going very well. And I was living in Istanbul and I was taking some boxing private lessons with a coach. And my coach was like, "Oh, you should come one time with your boyfriend. I can give you a class together as lovers. It can be fun." And I was like, "Yeah, why not? Let's come together as a couple. It's a fun activity to punch each other for a few hours." and we went. And if you know boxing, you know that you cannot end a session. Like if you really did the work, like honestly followed your coach and did the work, you cannot finish the session looking like yourself. So first, your belly is generally swelling because of the breathing and you need to breathe a lot. So generally you start breathing through your mouth also, which is not very good, but you take a lot of air and your belly is swelling. It's also like very stressful sometimes in the moment for your body because it's losing a lot of energy when you are boxing. And even I think from the contraction of your abs, I'm not a sport coach, but as I understood it, it's different factors. But the thing is that for a temporary moment, your belly can start really swelling, inflating. And so I had the belly of a pregnant woman. I was sweating, I was smelling, my hair was a mess, a frizzy mess. Because of course you cannot keep a blowout during a session. And you're just red, you don't have any makeup, you look like the worst of yourself. At least that's how I felt in the moment when I looked in the mirror. I was like, oh my God, I forgot my character. I forgot that I need to play a character. And now everything crumbled and I cannot control this anymore. And I'm so ashamed to say that now because it sounds so silly to me today, but I really cried so much that day. And my boyfriend was like, what's happening? What's happening? Something's wrong. What's not okay? And I was like, I don't even know, but I guess I was not ready for you to see me like this. And he was like this? What do you mean? Sweaty? And he was a total green flag in that moment because he really could not even understand what was the problem. And he was like, I mean, I am also sweating. I mean, we just had a boxing session. It's totally normal to sweat and even smell or whatever. What do you mean? And I was like, I don't know, because consciously I was like, of course it's normal to sweat. Thanks God, I'm human. Of course it's normal to be red and to not have makeup in that moment and that my hair is a mess. It's all normal, but I can just not handle it right now. And I was crying and crying and crying and not fully realizing why in the moment, but I felt that image of me crumble and that character or persona or management of my image and almost even identity crumble under my feet and me having zero control on it. And in the next weeks and months after that, I had a big breakthrough that actually, you know what? I just want to be myself from now. Because when you perform, even when you're conscious of it, you feel good about it because you're in control of your image and you feel so good about it and you don't see why you should change that. But what I realized is that you're actually unconsciously constantly scared to be discovered, to be actually seen, that someone would actually see what you really look like. And the hurt and shame that I felt about myself when for a second that character crumbled, that image crumbled, was really like being naked in the middle of a public place not being able to do anything about it. And so I was like, never again. I would rather show up as myself from the beginning and have people laugh or leave or not love me, but not have that fear or that moment that can happen in the future of me being naked in front of everyone, not able to control it. And I realized that day that you can perform your entire life, but at some point you might not. You might lose completely the control. And I was like, I never want to have that feeling again. Never. I love and respect myself too much to go through that again. So now I'm not gonna hide anymore behind chemically straightened hair or procedures, makeup, whatever, identity of the cool girl, effortless. I'm just gonna be myself. And also, to be honest, now reflecting on it, it also helped me so much to see that someone who was my boyfriend at the time, someone could actually see me entirely, because in that moment I could not hide myself anymore. Someone could actually see me entirely in what I was perceiving it to be my worst self, but it was not my worst self. It was just myself, you know, and still love me, still choose me just as much, if not more. For him, it was like, I even love you more because I'm seeing all of you. And it healed that small part of me that felt since childhood that who I was naturally without any alteration or performance was not enough and not lovable. And so I started feeling safe just exploring myself. And I mean exploring myself physically, because I had been peeling the layers internally, transforming, changing my mindset, working on me, personal development, all of that. But physically, I was still wearing a mask. I was still hiding myself completely. And so I started playing, checking, trying, with my hair, with my curls. In the beginning, they were really damaged, of course, with all the treatments and things that I did to them. But it started being kind of fun and kind of liberating, I would say. So it's been now 3 years that this transition happened. And during those 3 years, I realized only recently that for a long time, until very recently, I felt more attractive still when I was performing. Even though I chose consciously, deliberately to stop performing, and I was wearing my curls, trying to be myself, I kind of still felt inside, and this is even despite having so many compliments about my hair, my face, my features, way more than when I was performing, to be honest. I receive way more compliments when my hair are curly than when my hair are straightened. But even with the compliments, and even knowing that I wanted deliberately to be that version of me, I still felt that I know I'm more beautiful with my straight hair and this makeup, this clothes, this and that. But okay, if that's what it takes to love myself and respect myself, I'm ready to like kind of accept the consequence that I will be less attractive. That was what I was thinking. I accept to lose attractiveness in order to gain my self-respect. And I thought that was a very good deal until recently. I was like, actually, why do I need to choose between feeling like myself and feeling fully attractive? Why is it one or the other? Why my natural self would look less attractive than the performing version of me? And the real problem was not just that I lost part of myself and I had to get them back, for example, my curls or anything that it might be for you or it was for me. The problem was also that I didn't change in the process my definition of beauty. And since childhood, and then on the TV, on the books, outside, on social media later, the same definition was pushed on me. And I didn't see until a long time just people looking like me. And my type of beauty being really in the front row, not on the background. Like, yeah, she's cute. Yeah. But really, wow, this is beauty, you know? And so I never felt that my real self could be attractive because it was not my definition of attractiveness at all. And even I could say that what I had been trained since childhood to recognize as beautiful, trained like a dog, you know, trained like a fucking dog to recognize as beautiful was even the contrary of me. How ridiculous. How ridiculous that beauty would be the exact opposite of me. So if I have curls, the beauty definition is straight hair. If I have a chubby face, the beauty definition is a very thin face. If I have, I don't know, short hair, beauty definition is long hair. How ridiculous it can be that beauty is the exact contrary of me. And so you can decide to go back to yourself. You can decide to make the transition. You can decide to wear your curls and stop straightening your hair. But the truth that no one tells you is that it doesn't automatically and instantly make you feel beautiful. It actually makes you feel wrong, different, and uncomfortable at first. But that bravery of navigating this uncomfort is what will help you gather the proof along the way for your new definition of beauty. So you'll realize little by little, oh, I have a proof that I'm actually not ridiculous because when I go on the street, actually no one really looks at me enough. Oh, I have a proof that it's safe because actually I'm getting a lot of compliments. Oh, I'm getting a proof that I'm lovable because actually I change and my partner still loves me the same, if not even more. And little by little, you gather those proof that you can be lovable, you can be admired, you can be inspiring, you can be safe, all of that, just being yourself. And all your brain was telling you was just a lie. It starts to feel better and better to live as yourself. And at some point, you don't see the switch because it's just your new normal and it's happening little by little. But at some point, you start feeling more attractive just being yourself than being anyone else or performing. And that's because you, yes, switch and change and made the action and had the bravery of going through that uncomfort, but it's also because deep down, your definition of beauty is switching with it. And so if you want to go faster than me and not spend years doing that process, the first thing you need to check and change is what is your current definition of beauty or attractiveness or elegance, whatever you pursue. And is your definition linked to what you should be, or is it linked to what you naturally are? And I'm not gonna lie, it's still uncomfortable sometimes. And I still choose to manage my image sometimes. But there is a new comfort being myself, honestly. There is a comfort to it. There is a nervous system relaxation just looking at my own face, being my own self. And there is even some ego pride, I would say, to feel like your iconic self that no one can imitate, rather than just pretty because you conform and look like a paid copy of everyone else. I hope whatever the time it takes you, you embark on that journey because it's an amazing feeling and it drives way more than just your appearance. It drives your creativity, it drives your friendships, your love life, your abundance, and the quality of your life. Honestly, babe, you got this. See you in the next one.